Welcome everyone. You're looking at Gordon's Pond in Plainsboro, New Jersey. Why on earth am I at Gordon's Pond in Plainsboro, New Jersey? I'll tell you. Gordon's Pond is on a property that used to be a dairy farm. Here in New Jersey, there was a lot of farms. And Gordon's Pond was on this property, which used to be the Walker Gordon Dairy Farm. The Walker Gordon Dairy Farm is now a housing development. But when it was a dairy farm, it was the home of a very famous cow that we all know, Elsie the Cow. Elsie the Cow, whose shining countenance was on the packaging for all the good Borden products. Borden milk, Borden ice cream, Borden cheese. And she was a character drawn in, hold it, Stacy? Is that you?
Yes.
What are you doing at the Gordon Walker farm? She just saw a turtle who was sitting here in the sun, and she was talking to it so much that it got scared and bugged out and went out into the woods over there towards the lake. It was sunning itself. Well, I'm telling them about Elsie the Cow. Because Elsie the Cow was a real cow. First, she was just a drawing. But in 1939, for the World's Fair in New York, Borden had a big super exhibit called the Rotolactor. You have a picture of the Rotolactor? I'm telling you about the Rotolactor in the Borden Pavilion at the 1939 World's Fair. Here's the Rotolactor. I hear you making fun of that picture. What, I suppose you have a better picture of the Rotolactor? Please send it to me. Anyway, the Rotolactor was this high-tech way to milk cows all at once in a single shot. And guests would come and marvel at the Rotolactor, and Borden was getting, the cast members who worked the pavilion kept getting asked the same question. Which one of these cows is Elsie? So the marketing reps at Borden said, we need to name one of these cows, and fast. So they found a good-natured Jersey cow. Coincidence? I don't think so. With kind eyes and a nice expressive face, and they said, this is Elsie. So in 1939, Elsie became a real cow. Elsie became the star of the fair. Everyone came to see Elsie. It was one of the largest pavilions at the fair. But after the fair, they toured Elsie around on a truck, and she went to Broadway. On her way to the theater in Broadway from this farm, Gordon Walker Farm, which as you can see through this gazebo, has now become a housing development. Lovely homes here. Quiet. It's like you're on the farm, really. But on the way to the Broadway theater, on Route 1 in, was it Linden? She got rear-ended. The truck got rear-ended by another truck. Elsie suffered a broken spine and neck, and the veterinarians decided she had to be put to sleep. They put her to sleep and returned her in Rahway. I said Linden, it's right there. They brought her back and buried her here on the Walker Gordon farm. Now, her actual grave has been covered by these houses. She's somewhere in here. But they erected this lovely monument for Yuldu Lobelia. Yuldu Lobelia was the actual name of the cow. Her stage name became Elsie. I will read you this wonderful plaque. It says, a purebred Jersey cow, one of the great Elsies of our time. 1932 born, died 1941 in the truck crash. She, one of the great Elsies of our time. That refers to the fact that after we lost Yuldu Lobelia, the first Elsie, they needed another Elsie. So like there were 25 Lassies, there were a number of Elsies, and this is not a gravesite. I know it seems like if you're watching this, we do a lot of grave sites, right? Not really a gravesite, just a monument to a great cow. Okay. Now, before I go, I want to show you they built another monument here that's difficult to read because it's another little story of her. Burial site of Elsie the Borden Cow, a celebrated advertising trademark. I'll read it to you. Elsie, a purebred Jersey cow, with enormous brown eyes. It was chosen to be the advertising symbol of the Borden Company. She became one of the best known and most successful icons in the history of American marketing. And that's no bull. Elsie was featured in... You knew I was going to do a joke like that, right? Elsie was featured in the Borden Company's exhibit. I was just telling you about this. Dairy World of Tomorrow at the 1939-40 New York World's Fair. Elsie and her... What's that? I can't even...
Chain?
Thank you. Elsie and her chain of daisies. Oh, you have the daisy chain. Look. Became one of the star attractions of the fair. Elsie will be remembered as one of the most celebrated residents of this Walker Gordon farm. Let's have a moment of silence, shall we? You know, the story doesn't end there. Did you know that Elsie had a boyfriend?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Stacy has a picture of her boyfriend. Show the boyfriend. I don't know if you knew this. Did you know this? Elmer, the glue cow, that bull, that's her boyfriend. Because how do I know this? Look who made it. Whoops, can you see that? It's hard to see. Also, Borden. Borden's Elmer, Borden's Elsie. Elmer was fictitious. There was no Elmer that traveled around signing autographs like there was Elsie. So, I think she's still looking for that turtle.
I keep waiting for him to come back.
Okay, so you'll do Lobelia. We hardly knew ye. You became Elsie, the greatest Elsie of our time. Died tragically at showbiz, 1941. Okay, we're gonna go now. I think we've milked this enough. See ya. Thanks for joining us.